Yeah, that probably about do the job right, wouldn't it? Yeah, so welcome back to the stream. Totally doing in a second episode of Fresh Start, quote unquote, for this guy right here that kind of looks like a scuffed up version of Leon Kennedy. Try to pack in about 45 minutes to about an hour. And that is assuming this stuff works the way that it's supposed to. For whatever reason, I keep getting plagued with network issues. Something that will change in future episodes. Because after I get done with the stream today, I'm going to go buy a proper video capture card and get this stuff set up the right way. And that's my dog in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. He is going berserk a bomb. So, I mean, there's definitely that. Okay, if I remember correctly, my friend said I had to find a magic quill. Oh, 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 oh! Ow. I would very much like it if you stop trying to kill my dog. Yeah, it's lobster on my head, by the way. Not a shrimp. Okay, there's a faceplate. Wow. This kind of jerks. Oh, yeah, teleport. I don't like that. I don't like that here. Also, don't do missing too well. Not very friendly at all. Mm. Oh. I think that guy kind of had my name taken down on his little bingo book. That's alright. Nothing personal. I can deal with it. Can't deal with this atrocious setup for myself. But even that is subject to change at any point. Okay. I have two of the same videos on my thing. Huh. And apparently I'm messing up on this YouTube stuff because when you do a live, you don't need to post it to your regular videos, I guess. I'm not sure if that's how that works. Maybe someone can get into my comments. Someone who knows what they're doing. Oh, hey, no, no, no crouchy. Yep. It's garbage. Okay. Here. Home. Live. Oh, Agnes. Hush, bud. People don't want to hear you growling on street. Good boy. Work good boy. Being a loud boy. Excuse me. Alright, there's my history. Not declaring this one. Yeah, I'm already in the process of doing live streams. And I see it. My device, which is linked to the account. Hey, YouTube, maybe streamline this process just a wee bit. Just a wee bit. Be able to watch my own stream on a tablet would really help. Or at least make it a little smoother. Oh, let's see here. Oh, oh, don't do that. That is embarrassing. Oh. Yeah, anyway, I guess I'm just gonna have to set up my phone to do it. Except it's not popping up here either. Hmm. Well, there is always a third option. Xenon goes device. I'd like to know why this was working yesterday, but it's not working right now. Aha, there it is. Never mind. I'm just apparently brain dead. Right. Okay. Nope. Nope. Ow! Would you stop trying to burn my dog? Yeah, stop trying to kill me. Man, this might be the shortest live stream attempt at episodes attempt in mankind's history. Which was too stupid. Yeah. Ow. Yeah. Well, I'm not shot at. Kidding. Okay, that was my own fault. Now, one of these days, I will get proper software, and you guys won't have to see me play catch up with the video setup.
Oh, thank the founder. You're alive. What happened? Yeah, I'll bet if the World Stone's involved. Maybe, start at the beginning. You were with the founder in the old ward, right? Where'd he go?
I don't know. I guess I'd leave it up to you guys if you want to put in the comments when you want to see less of me in the game.
Look, I'm sorry you got
thinking
involved
about
in this,
myself.
Traveler. So, then what happened?
Kind of thinking my image is might a bit too big of my face, not enough of the game. Let you all decide. Put some comments down below. Think on what you think.
Wait, what? Clementine? Where is she? Is she okay? Right, sorry. Clementine, she means a lot to all of us. We gotta find her. I'll get everybody together. If she went through the World Stone, she could be anywhere. No, I mean she could be anywhere. Do you understand? Like there's entire other worlds out there. All right, I'll get Brabus and Riggs. I'll tell them to... Oh, what the hell am I doing? I don't know what's out there any more than you do. Oh, I'd be putting the whole town at risk. And Clem wouldn't want that. Hell, it's a miracle you came back. No, we gotta trust you on this, like you said. Is that all right?
Yeah, don't worry, I'll find her. I understand. Any help you can give me is fine.
Thanks, Traveler. Talk to the folks around town. They should have any supplies you need. You know, Ford used to tell me, old Commander Ford, not the founder, that a leader and a hero are two different things. The leader's place is always with her people. I thought she was just taking a dig at her grandfather for leaving all the time, but I think I'm starting to understand her better now. Hey, let me know as soon as you find Clem, okay? We're all worried about her.
Yeah.
How
That
goes it,
actually might
friend?
not be a bad idea. See, when I said fresh-ish start, I didn't realize that
Take care, my friend.
some things might uh okay, they don't. Good. Oh, let's see if she can help.
What is it now?
And she's got a sour attitude. I know she's got reasons,
What do
but
you need?
well, let's see. Right about there, I'll do the job just fine.
We're finished here.
See, if I ever took that kind of attitude at my old customer service job, we wouldn't have had the job for very long. Might just end up doing the Wilson thing for home improvement. I don't know if anyone watches this video remembers home improvement. That might be another thing to put down in the comments. Who knows? Uh, Oh, by the way, by no stretch of the imagination am I an expert gamer or anything. In fact, actually, probably taking time to do that, which some of you may imagine. How that means. I don't know, if I get any viewers that want me to jump into Destiny 2 and take a spin at it and see what happens, I can do that. Kind of waiting for Bungie to get their act together a little bit. They got a lot of really weird stuff going on, and you know, people like to, when I was commenting on someone else's video, they like to try to defend Bungie by saying you can get the season passes in the annual pass one. You know, when I bring up the point, you know, down again, that the season pass is 1,200 silver, and you got a problem with that because when you go into the Xbox, you know, store, all you have is a 500 silver option and a 1,000 silver option. And hey, maybe I couldn't afford the annual pass when it came out. Maybe I still can't. And maybe it's all I can do to scrounge up $12 that, you know, Bungie wants for their money, or for their season pass. Yeah, their money basically. Because when you pay a season pass, you're basically just throwing in money for little bits and pieces of drip feed content. That, I guess, is another argument for another time. No, what really kind of turned me off was actually Lightfall. I paid for the expansion, played it through. Got really bored with it really fast, and basically regretted buying the expansion. Because I felt like the story was subpar, and the gameplay was literally rinse and repeat from the Bounty. It's just like Remnant bounties. You know? And, you know, Season of the Wish was alright for what I played of it, which wasn't much because I didn't afford the season pass for probably another couple of days, but what I did play of it just felt like more of the same. You know, I didn't feel like giving them the $12 because I literally felt like all we're doing is just paying them for more of the same stuff. Which is, I guess, what Destiny's become. My other kind of right, and it jumped to the lawsuit with Activision and blah blah blah. You know, a legacy playlist. You know, something with the old story stuff, Red War and all the stuff with Gaul, and a controversial take here, but I actually kind of like the Osiris DLC. Yeah, it ended up being very boring and rinse and repeat. I get that. I know, just like I'm complaining about things being rinse and repeaty. But once you have a set amount of things that can be rinsed and repeated, like, when the population gets up there, it's rinse and repeat is really rinse and repeat. Like, okay, you run whatever it was there, the thing that ended up being our Halloween event. You know, if that was mainstay, like, if that was a main content item, 3 people, and, you can rock and roll it at any time. Like, the rest of the daily stuff we have here, I really think that at that point, probably the worst thing that happens is the too much content issue, eventually. there's only so much time that you have in the day to game. There's just only so many days, hours in the day if you're a really hardcore gamer. So you kind of gotta ask yourself, really, which is worse. You know, having a content drought where you're basically stuck doing the same stuff over, or being drip-fed content to the extent that you know what you're doing anymore, like why you're here, kind of questions start popping up. And that was the question that I asked myself, and I had some other life events happen
Real pretty.
associated
I don't
with
trust this place.
it. I don't trust this place either. But I've already been here. Speaking of that, but back to my point. I like games. Back when I was a kid, first game, Link's Awakening, loved it. I've seen the gaming industry go those good single and multiplayer experiences to kind of good, but they're solid things, y'all. And there's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. Like, you gotta maintain quality to go with it, and that can kind of create, I guess, an issue somewhere. I don't really know too much about game dev. I mean, yeah, I'm working on a RPG on RPG Maker. It's like a couple of them because I have a couple of different versions of the RPG Maker software. But like, when you try to monetize using microtransactions, I kind of feel like you're muddying the water a little bit. And well, us older gamers, what a lot of kids, I guess, would try to call boomers. Well, we're not really boomers. We're just in our, mid-30s or early 30s, and yeah, you just we attribute our opinions to our age a lot. Sure, our age might have a lot to do with that, but don't you think that our experiences might play into giving you guys a better gaming experience too? I mean, heck, I remember when I was a freshman in high school playing Halo 1 and loving it. And I really just kind of wish we could get back to that. You know, I mean, people sit there and try to defend that, saying, "Oh well, Master Chief Collection. Yeah, I got that. That's pretty fun. I'll give you that. You see the campaign and multiplayer. All right. But once you get up to like Halo 3 and Halo 4, the way that you used to earn the armor in the multiplayer is different. Which is fine, except some of that stuff's hidden behind that season pass. Just like with Destiny 2, some of that stuff is hidden behind that season pass. They want you to pay that $10, $12 piece of content. Alright, that's not a problem. Alright, so let's stop and think about this for a minute. $12. $12 for the season pass in Destiny 2. However much it is for Master Chief Collection's seasonal pass. I'm not sure if Halo 5 still has a season pass. I don't play Call of Duty, but if I did, there's a season pass there. I'll guarantee that. What other games are there? Oh, if I was a World of Warcraft gamer, there's a subscription for that. I have a Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Online, which I pay for yearly, but there is still that to consider. I mean, after a while, all this stuff, plus your streaming stuff, that money starts to pile up a wee bit.
Like you
So,
say?
you gotta sit here and kind of cut stuff that normally, back in the day, you wouldn't have to cut because it wasn't there. It didn't exist. So now we have a seasonal story, we have all this other stuff that gets drip-fed, which I don't know if I agree with hiding the seasonal story behind the season pass per se. Destiny 2. I mean, kind of each their own at that point. But you kind of gotta sit here and wonder, just
I have seen her in a
how
kingdom
much
of
value
great
are we really
authority,
getting for how
filled
much we're
with
paying out?
doors and possibilities.
So I decided to cut Destiny
But
2
I
out
do not recognize it, nor
to
can
pay
I
for
find
some
the
other
way.
things. And, you
Not
know,
here,
it worked
not
for a little bit.
as things
It worked.
are.
But then, and
The
I mean, I don't
kingdom
know
is
how
in
bad it's affecting other
disarray,
countries, but if
strange
you
one.
live here in the
The
US,
one true
then
king has been
inflation
deposed,
started to be
but the manner
noticeable
of his
because I
deposition
wasn't paying
has
for the
wrought
thing that was distracting
unforeseen
me from the inflation.
consequences. For
So then I
everyone.
started to look at other games. I
Now,
brought me to Remnant
an
2
impostor
after a
sits
little bit,
upon the throne,
some other games in
a
between.
deceiver and a
I tried
fraud.
Fantasy Star, I tried
They
some
must be
other
slain if I am to fix what is
titles.
broken, and perhaps
And,
if you are to
you know,
find what you seek.
still definitely left me
I
wondering a
cannot
couple of things.
ask this of you, but were you to accept this burden, to slay the deceiver, you would find them in the floors above, beyond an opulent door carved of their own vanity.
And see, that's another thing about
And if
storytelling
I
in
can
these
provide
games.
you with wisdom or
Is,
Emmanuel's
and I love
artisanship, is
Remnant and
yours
Remnant
to
2.
peruse.
Oh man. Remnant, I will say, technically, I like the first one just a little bit better, but not by much. And it's so close. I have to sit here and kind of get really, really into the nitpicking to really, notice it. So, yeah, I should probably be wearing that ring, but
Our
I'm
kingdoms cannot heal until the imposter is vanquished.
okay. So what? Am I stuck playing Among Us, trying to find out who the imposter is or where the imposter is? Anyway, yeah. Gaming's in an alright place, but I feel like it could be in a lot better place if we had the storytelling we had in the 90s, early and mid 2000s,
Okay, this is it.
combined with a little bit of the monetization that we have now, but just not as much. And I know that's kind of a hot take, and there's going to be some Bungie defender out there saying, no, they need to pay for server maintenance and all this stuff. To that I say, that should have been calculated when you first started making the game. Like, you should have been calculating your budget well before now. And well before you started to, make the season pass a thing. Oh, there's a hole in the floor. Again, sorry for if I swore there. I try not to on stream. You'll catch me in my Xbox Live parties and atrocious stuff. Here on YouTube, I do try to keep it somewhat civil. I don't know how long that's going to hold up, but I will certainly try to. It depends on how this takes off. Yay! Okay, there's a magical quill somewhere in this game. Oh, right. Oh, I just did that. That was brainless. but that's kind of what I felt like. Like I was working as a flagger for a lot of the time, and I just kind of felt like I was mindlessly wasting my money on season passes and stuff. Which, I mean, sure, there's some out there who think there's nothing wrong with that, but when you're living on a budget, well, yeah. And by the way, still living on that same budget, but you just kind of got to sit there and wonder how much money I'm going to sink into this extra, quote unquote, extra content. And I mean, sure, some of it was truly extra content, then fine, but uh, there's a lot of questions I often wonder about that. Like, I don't know how the sausage is made at Bungie, but like, I saw lately that they tried to market previous exotics, like stuff that you could earn in game, on the Xbox store, and it got basically lambasted by just about everybody. Um, I don't, I don't really know how I feel about that. I mean, they are pretty good weapons, but they are exotic tier weapons, by the way. But I don't really know if I would say they're the quote-unquote best. And, you know, we had something similar for those of us who couldn't get Galahorn from Atheon back in 1 when they came out with the Season of Iron, which, by the way, the Iron Lords DLC for Destiny 1 was my favorite to this day. But I definitely wish we could go back to a lot of those good stories. Some games out there, Remnant, you know, Dark Souls, and a couple other games along those lines, really, really, really good stories. Like some of the best storytelling I've seen recently, and you know, actually doing a really good job of it. You know, props where props are due. But at what point does it become less of a story issue and monetization issue? And again, I think that we could strike a balance. You know, I also noticed in the news that Bungie had to lay off some folks, and I really feel bad for them, but I just kind of hoping it's not the good people that did, you know, the better parts of Destiny 2, and they left the monetization team intact because it was really the monetization team that was part of the problem, I feel anyway, because I didn't feel like the PvE content was really up there, and I heard from a lot of the PvP players that they felt rejected and neglected, and hey, I saw it. I don't personally indulge that much in Crucible unless I absolutely have to for, you know, my daily goodies or some sort of quest or some such. So,
Greetings, petitioner, if that is what you are. Step to the podium.
A foreigner? This
I
promises to
didn't,
be a
you know,
colossal waste of time.
It lives in our kingdom.
I
does it
didn't
not?
know
I at least am
how to
interested
feel
in
about
what you
all of
might
that,
have
and I mean, I
say.
felt bad for people who lost their jobs, but, and I still do. That doesn't change anything. That losing your job sucks, but, you know, when you show up to your new owner with a 40% revenue cut compared to what you were making before, well, some questions got to be asked, you know? That's still pretty brutal to have happen to you.
Hail, stranger. I am Savan, speaker of the One True King's Council. State your nature and business for the record, please.
Your nature, yes. What are you exactly? You're
You
not
know,
one of the...
it kind of is what it
what
is.
do they
I
call
really
themselves?
wish
The Dram,
that these
are
people
you?
didn't have to lose their jobs, and I really wish whatever force it was that made it happen
Then why,
um,
pray tell, should
didn't
we waste our
happen. I
time?
actually really
This is a
do
fair
still want
council,
Destiny
and
2
we
to
have more
thrive and
imperative
prosper,
matters than to play
which is
guide
why
to
when they said,
outsiders.
oh, we're coming out with Marathon and all our money was being dumped into Marathon, I'm sitting there thinking about my Season Pass money and my DLC money, and I'm like, okay, so you're making another game with the money that I'm giving you now for Destiny 2, and I want to play Destiny 2, not the game that you're making in the future. Hey, I get it. Some people are really amped up for Marathon. That's great. That's good for you. I'm glad you're happy. But I'm not. And a lot of Destiny 2 players kind of felt like it was a slap in the face, and just kind of tried to live on with it, limped on with that knowledge in the back of our heads. And yeah, sure, the playability numbers haven't really decreased that much. The problem is that when you stack stuff up like this, and things just keep getting progressively worse and worse, you gotta ask yourself a
Your
question.
friend is here. Now?
Um,
How distressing. Perhaps we can help you find them.
Perhaps
you
not,
got
or
you
have
got
you
this
forgotten?
issue
Rather large
where
problem
it's
yet
the
undealt
death
with,
by a
starting with
thousand
what
cuts.
lies beyond this very door.
I had
Monetization,
not
lack of
forgotten
story,
Onariel,
lack
but
of
as we are
decent
at a
story in
standstill,
Nightfall or
I thought to turn our attention to something
Yeah,
more refreshing for the time
well,
being.
Lightfall,
Sadly, our resources must be devoted to the troubles at
lack
hand,
content for
Nayel.
PvP.
Petition.
Gambit maybe
We
not
will
being
not
the
help you
best
at this
game mode
time.
in the world according to
Good day.
some. It does kind of stack up. It does. Um, you know, and yeah, like then you have the community aspect of it where you have people dogpiling and
You have
I'm
wasted
not
quite
defending
enough of our
Bungie
time,
by no
foreigner.
stretch of the
But they
imagination.
have
I
far
don't
more
even
important
defend
concerns
myself.
than
I
you
should have had
before
my
us.
RPG made
Hold a
months
moment,
ago.
Onariel.
Then
Perhaps
I
this
came up
stranger could be
about
of use
making
to us.
NPC
The
text
Fae
boxes,
presently
and then
live in
just became
fear
an
and
excuse after
uncertainty,
excuse
stranger.
not to
The
do it,
one true king
which
has
is my
been
fault.
usurped
But
by an imposter, aided by one of those
that's
seated
why I
before
didn't
you.
have other
But
people
we know
investing
not
money
which.
into my
As an
project
independent
except for
party,
myself. The only
you
one I
might
can hold
find
accountable is
clarity
myself.
where we have failed.
But I'm
Will you
also the
help
only
us?
person who can hold myself. So yeah, at any rate, but I'm not like Bungie, I'm not like the others. That's one thing about being an indie versus being, a single dev indie developer versus being a company like that is you can get bought by someone like Sony, for example, and next thing you know,
That is wise. You are under
next thing
no
you know,
commitment unless and until
you're
you
answering
choose
to a
make
new
an
board of
accusation.
directors that's not
That said,
Microsoft,
should you
anyone
come
else,
across
and you're
evidence,
kind of wondering,
you are permitted,
gee, I'm
within
not my own
certain
boss anymore.
conditions, to
I wonder
accuse
what
one
these
of those
numbers are
seated
going to do
here,
to me.
and this body will consider the accusation.
So,
A great tragedy, stranger. For eons, the Fae and this council have
you know.
faithfully served the one true king.
And
But alas,
it
his
really,
rule has been
Bungie
curtailed.
is
The
kind of a
imposter,
sad story
failing
because
or
Bungie's
failing,
one of those
whatever
devs
they
that
call
I really
themselves,
like.
placed the king
They
in an
used
eternal
to, I don't know
slumber
if
from which he
people
cannot
remember
be
this,
woken.
but
The king
they used
was
to tout off
attacked
about
in
wanting
his
to take over
own
the world or
chambers,
something back when,
behind this very
back
door.
when Halo was a thing.
The imposter could not have entered
And
without
now
aid from a
you're,
member of this council.
in a weird
Of
situation
course,
where
we
the
all
old
had
folks
our
who used to work,
alibis, as
the
can
original
imagine.
Bungie, a lot
None
of them
of
don't work
us
there
were
anymore.
here.
And,
This has been
you know,
proven
they
many
just don't.
times.
And,
If
some of them
you
broke
can
off
find
to
any
make
evidence
343, and
tying one of us to
I
this
don't know how well
tragedy
that
or
worked
to
out
the
for 'em,
imposter,
but I really
then Fae
kind of
justice
miss the
might be
good old
done.
days,
It won't be enough,
And
Savan.
a lot of people are
The
going to sit there and
imposter
say,
still sits
you
upon the
old
throne.
fogey, you
Yet,
boomer.
it will
You
be
know,
a step.
Hey, I
And
am
a
not a
necessary
boomer.
one
I am
toward
actually a
restoring
millennial.
order among the
And
Fae.
if you want a boomer, what would that mean? Like my dad, my grandparents, something like that? I'm not sure where that would fall in, and have to sit here and figure out the actual math, which I don't do math, on stream very well. Give me a pad and a piece of paper and a calculator. I'll figure out whatever you want. But
It means you're not Fae.
Um,
Life is easily forfeit.
Please,
you
Onariel.
know, I just
Stranger, we
I
will
don't know.
discuss the conditions of your accusation.
Humor is
if
not
and
the
when
right
you
word
choose
for
to
it.
make one.
Griefer is definitely not the right word for it, but definitely kind of like you've been traveling for a long time, you've been away from home, you start to feel a little homesick. It's kind of what it feels like.
We do not.
Um,
This fast does nothing.
Peace, Honorable.
I
The
just,
law is clear
I
on
don't
this
know.
point,
And yes,
as
I'm
you
aware I'm
well
pissing
know.
this
I
honorable
will
guy
answer
off.
your question, stranger.
Um,
With a traitor among us, trust has shattered. If any of us were to produce evidence at this stage, it would be suspect by all.
And rightly
Ooh.
so. Either of you would love any excuse to remove me from the council.
And you do not wish to hold half the council's power yourself,
kind of
Honorable.
wondering if this
You
guy's
cannot
projecting
pretend
a
it isn't
little
true.
bit. If you catch my drift.
Regardless, stranger, you
Yeah,
are not from
and
this
another
world,
weird trend I
either of these
noticed on these
worlds.
YouTube
So,
comments, you know,
any
not on my
evidence
own
you
video, I
bring
do
would be
surf other
free from the
gaming
suspicions
streamers'
we
videos
have cast
a
upon
lot.
ourselves.
It's how I got some of the inspirations for the stuff that I'm doing here from them. You know, y'all like to try to defend these devs, and it's like, what bearing are you? Do you have stock in some of these companies, or what? Because you're acting like you do, and to be honest with you, as a gamer myself, I'm looking at stocks, but
Precisely my point.
I kind of wonder,
This
you know,
foreigner may
how
have
much
any
you
number
are
of
really
reasons
looking
for
into
accusing
stocks,
any one of
because
us.
Which is why,
I kind of
if
got that
and
impression
when
that except for a
evidence is
couple of
produced,
whales out there, I don't
we
think stocks
alone
are in your
will pronounce the
near
final
future,
judgment.
because
And if that
some of y'all
evidence has been
kind of,
falsified,
I know my
tainted,
gamer
how
can a
do I know
little
one
bit
of
too
you has
well,
not paid
you know,
this
to catch
interloper
the
to
drift,
act on your
and
behalf?
Unreal,
I
any
know
horse who
what
would
a
everyone
lot
is
of
as
you make,
unscrupulous as
and it
yourself.
ain't great.
Not everyone seeks power at
You know,
any
that
cost.
even at that $14 an hour, that
I will judge
$20,000
it
a
when
year,
I
hey,
see
guess
it.
what?
I
Some
trust
of you
no
guys got to
one,
pay rent. Some
but
of
I
you
trust
guys
the
got to
two of
pay a
you
mortgage.
less
Some
than
of
this
you also
foreigner.
have car insurance, car inspection stuff, car repairs. That gas price ain't going down, and you still got to eat. You know, and that's before the other stuff that you do. And a lot of y'all, I kind of know that y'all ain't all there for stocks, because a lot of you don't believe in them, and that's fine. That is your right. I mean, I do a little bit, but not much. Kind of looking into it myself, poking my nose around a little bit. You know, gotta figure out what I'm getting if I get any.
We now know that the imposter approached each
and
one of us
it is, I
at some
guess.
point, whispering promises of
But
freedom and
a little
power,
bit of truth time here.
trying to poison our minds against the one true king.
I don't have stocks right now.
He only said what we
I'm
wanted to hear.
living in a family
Did one
member's
of us
house doing
listen?
this stream.
Can you blame them, though?
You know, in the
The
supporting
imposter called out
process,
important
which I'm not
truths.
even sure if
Is
I'm doing it
that
right.
an
I'm gonna have to
admission of
look into that a
guilt,
little bit
Niall?
more on YouTube.
If you would allow me
Um,
to finish. I was
you know,
saying he called out important truths that we must take to heart.
I know what I have and what I
despite the
don't
poison
have.
that
And I know there are a lot of
obviously
people
accompanied
my
them.
age, and even
We
some
would do
people that are a
well
lot
to
younger
address
than
the
me that have a
flaws
lot
raised by
less.
the imposter. And
You know,
I find
some
it
people who are
difficult to
doing
cast
live
blame on
streams
any
from like
who thought there
campers and
might be a
stuff
smoother
out in the middle
path
of
towards
nowhere
doing so.
because
And
they
yet
can
that
afford
path
the internet,
has
they
led to
can
ruin.
afford the stuff for the
We have merely
electricity.
exchanged
But as
one
far as
tyrant
actually
for
paying for that
another.
piece of land, some of them are just
Indeed,
renting it off
but our
somebody.
feelings on the outcome
And some
are
of them
irrelevant.
ain't, and
This
that
council must be
that kind of stealth
absolved of
camping
guilt
stuff is
if we
not
are ever to
entirely
restore
legal and is
order to
highly
the Fae.
questionable. But, you know, I'm not naming any names. I don't really know anyone off the top of my head who does that last one, but I know a couple of people have tried it and didn't really get away with it in their own state because, you know, they don't mess around that much. You know, you get caught trespassing on somebody's land and they work for this state, they, our law enforcement doesn't mess around. You will be removed. You know, and that's one of the reasons I live here is I don't have to worry about much. Like if I have an issue, yeah, sure. Oh, you're a cop caller. Yeah, you know what? I used to pay taxes, quite a bit of taxes, and to some degree, I still do. So, you know, yeah, I might make my money in different ways now, and I might pay my taxes a mite bit differently than I used to. But you know what? If I'm paying them taxes, of course I'm gonna call the friggin' cops. Are you dumb? You know? You know, you break the law, someone calls the cops, you got it coming. I mean, I'm not gonna call them every 2 seconds because of stupid stuff, but like, if I'm in imminent danger, well, if I'm in imminent danger, you better hope to God I ain't, because that's when the scary stuff starts happening, the stuff that I never want to have to do. I don't think anyone with a right and sound mind would ever have to want to do.
Alas, we do not know.
There is no blood, no wound that we can see.
But,
Not
you
that
know,
we
there
were
is
able
a
to
degree
investigate
of
the
stuff,
scene
like, you
fully.
know,
At
hey,
your
my neighbor
request,
stole my
Unreal.
big screen. He's being a
I
jerk
cannot
about it.
trust
I'm
either
gonna
of
call
you
the cops
backstabbers
because
nor
all my
anyone you
stuff
might
is
call to
registered
serve us.
on a little
Were those
thing
not
that's
your
registered
words?
with an insurance company.
They
Oh,
were
gee.
indeed,
Well, they're gonna go
and the
next door, check
sentiment
the serial
holds.
numbers with a warrant,
Regardless,
and, you
it is
know,
unknown
they're gonna
even
see
what
that
could
the
harm
serial
the
numbers
king,
match up.
or to set that no
And, you
mortal
know,
weapon
it's just the
can
way
kill
that
him.
it is. And
And
he's gonna
many
get
have
nailed and get in
tried.
trouble. Not saying they have a problem with any of our neighbors. Actually, our neighbors are pretty freaking awesome out here. Pretty darn cool guys. You know. But oh, I'm sure they say stuff at their own kitchen tables about the the guy living at his, you know, relative's house down the road who is starting out as a streamer, a bunch of other stuff. But you can't let that get to you. What they say at their kitchen table, that's their problem. That is something they make their problem, and that's the way it is.
The king has ruled over the Fae as long as anyone can recall. He has always been a guiding force, both in our world and our lives.
Some believed he was too much of a guiding force.
More than some. Yet, look at us now. The king sleeps, and our world is spun into chaos.
Indeed, it would seem his life is more entwined with our world than anyone knew.
Imagine what would have happened if he had been killed. Ah, of course! How could we have been so blind? The genius of this foreigner, who is so much more clever than all of the Fae
Sarcasm
together.
is not welcome.
Please,
That
Unreal.
was not
The
even
question
called
is
for.
academic
Of
curiosity.
course I don't know anything.
The simple answer, stranger, is magic of a kind more powerful than any here have yet seen. We suspect the imposter's conspiracy went even
What
deeper
was the
than
name
this
of that
council
that weird
alone.
poisonous
All
plant
the
from
more
first
reason
Sherlock
to
Holmes
identify the
movie? I have to look into
conspirator
that at
among
some
us.
point. I don't know right off the top of my head, but I'm thinking someone put him to quote unquote sleep.
They are a monster. They care nothing for the welfare of the Fae.
Nor those of us who serve the Fae.
But yeah, no,
Nor for
I'm
the
not
law.
trying to call out the
On
big
this
name
we all
companies
agree.
either. Like
The
that
imposter's
would be
plan
the
should
most
never have been
brainiest
carried
thing
out.
I could ever do. But like, you can't sit here and tell me as a gaming company, a party you doesn't long for and miss them good old days when your popularity was through the roof for some of your companies.
So it
You
would
know.
seem. If this council is to have
I
any
don't. I
efficacy
I
at
guess I
all,
don't understand
the traitor
completely
must be
why
removed from our midst.
monetization has been
This
handled the way that it
is
is, like
the
where it's such a
law.
priority over giving quality product on a lot of games. And the games that we
Fairly
do get,
well,
like the one that I'm
stranger.
playing now,
And do tell us if you find anything
kind
interesting.
of fall under. They kind of fall under a little bit of, and in a lot of cases, a little too much criticism is done because, like, people like me like to sit there as the gamer. We don't know the inside of the business. It's not really our job to know that. Our job is to buy your game and enjoy it as far as the gaming end of things is concerned. But I mean, but, you know, to a degree, I do understand a little bit, you know, got that crunch culture. I used to work for Walmart for 2 years as a automotive person, auto care center, I guess is what they're now calling it. It used to be tire and lube, but I guess they kind of got sick of the jokes associated with, you know, rubber and grease. You know, we did more than that though, but like headlights, you know, battery swaps. I was probably one of the weirdest ones out there. February rolled around one year, it was overly cold, and like I went from being the oil pit monkey or the desk jockey to being the battery guy, the designated battery guy, who just, you know, batteries all the time, batteries, and even more batteries than automotive batteries flying off the shelves. Um, you know, it was all right. I wouldn't highly recommend it for everyone, but if you're looking to get this under your belt to go apply for an auto dealership in the service department or whatever, then it's a good start. It's an okay start. Like, you know, I know Walmart is Walmart, and that experience may or may not be relevant to some dealerships out there. But, you know, you got to remember, an oil change is an oil change is an oil change, and an oil filter is an oil filter. You can sit there and try to say, oh, well, there's a difference between internal filters and yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, it is all still the same stuff. You just gotta, you just gotta look at it from a 1,000-foot view sometimes. You can't nitpick everything in life, because you're gonna make yourself and everyone around you. And when you're an employer and you have really high standards about that stuff, sometimes it helps you. Other times, when you're really hard up for somebody, yeah, sometimes you can't be too horribly picky. Like, if they have a couple of small that that stuff. I'm talking like maybe someone said something wrong to them and they caused issues on the oh. You can't, I mean, as an employer, you can do whatever you want, that's your right, but I kind of wonder at what point because you doing what you do is detriment to the business and things. Hey, I get it. You know, sometimes those employee does something that's actually really warrants that. Oh, you're really mucked up now, bud. No, and that's what I'm trying to do here with YouTube. Is I'm trying to do streams and stuff without ruffling too many feathers. That's why I chose Remnant as, you know, Remnant 2 is kind of my game of choice right now. We were gonna do Diablo 2, and me and my fiance tried to. Probably more that she was getting eye strain headaches from making it stream too long. The stuff was just too small. I get it. I was not sure. We got a good half hour-ish, maybe 5 minutes into it. She said, hey, I can't do this. It's a little bit too much. That's why my fiance and I were playing this together. We got 2 Xboxes running here, and if I had a second streaming game, I probably would have considered it, but end of the day, it's up to her what she wants to do. I don't really know. Another thing, like, and this reflects on what I'm saying about the decisions, like, growing up when I did, I don't really know how I feel about this streaming stuff yet. Oh, dang. Okay. Yep, that just got me killed, I guarantee it. Yep. Yeah, that got me killed. And not in a good way. I'd like to know how that happened. Or rather, why it happened. Again, video capture card, man. Video capture card. But, yeah, I mean... Anyway, I think that's probably gonna be a pretty good place to stop. Probably just gonna go over to my alt character and go off the stream for a little bit because I think you guys have heard me ramble on enough. I definitely didn't have that kind of content in mind, but a lot of stuff's been weighing on mostly about like gaming, the current state of gaming anyway. Who knows, maybe next video we'll get into the topic of hunting. That'd be fun. But we'll see what happens. I mean, if people don't start watching this stuff, then you might not be able to keep it up. But we'll see. And it's not so much that, it's not even so much that I can't financially keep it up. I can financially keep this up for days, but, it's just there are other things that I could be doing with my time than just doing YouTube, which is fine, and there's nothing wrong with having other things to do, but I kind of hope that eventually this will turn into something decent, you know, some subs and some more subs, and a couple more viewers than just like 3 or 4 at some point wouldn't hurt, but we'll see. We'll see. Might even get invested in some more wacky headgear. Yes, I know. You're wearing wacky stuff on your head for what? Yeah, that's kind of like e-begging, dude. Yeah, well, you know, you do what you do to get people to watch your stream. So, I was gonna wear one of these, but I didn't know how Game freaking Nintendo would really take to that. Here lately, Nintendo's kind of got a burr up their butt on a lot of stuff, and I kind of want to be careful about what I do on stream. But alrighty, well, it's been fun, and hope to see you in the next one. Trying to maintain Wednesday and Friday patterns at around 3 o'clock. Probably won't be to the minute on the 3 o'clock, might even be a little bit early, might be a few minutes late, it depends on what happens.